We're at St Paul's Church in Ramsey. It's one of the landmark buildings of the town. The original structure has been here for about 190 years, and the tower is a real focal point for the town. I'm with the Reverend Chris Lowden. Now, you inherited a little bit of a problem here, didn't you?
Well, I was appointed to this church in December last year, 2012, so over 12 months ago. Got a letter 1 week saying, congratulations, you've been appointed, and then a week later, oh, by the way, the roof in the tower has just collapsed and we've got a serious problem. So, yeah, it's been major focus in that year and a half that I've been here.
Now, we've had our cameras inside, and we've seen there are buckets in there to catch water. We've had a look in a section of the tower. Obviously we can't get all the way to the top. It's in quite a state up there. Can you tell me exactly what the problem is?
The problem is that for a number of years water has been collecting at the top of the tower because it's like a tray at the top, and over the years the water's been seeping down the inside of the tower, which is why when you see there's sort of quite poor state on the inside walls of the tower, and it's been dripping down, and eventually the wooden frame that supports the whole tower has become so waterlogged that it's now started to rot and deteriorate, and eventually the water collected on what was the ceiling for the gallery, and it all came crashing down.
So this is a problem that's been hidden for a long time, and I believe you also had a problem with the recent floods that hit the town.
Oh yes, we all where we're standing now was underwater on January the 3rd, and the water got into the boiler house and caused us a nice little setback in the heating system. It also doesn't help to getting the church dried out when you can't heat it because of a boiler failure.
So you need to raise £60,000. What will you be doing with the money?
35,000 of it is to jack the whole tower up and remove the rotten beams and replace them with steel ones. The remainder of the money will be spent on a certain amount of redecoration on the inside of the porch and on the outside of the tower, which needs a special waterproof coating, waterproof type of paint on the outside. So, and that's not cheap. So that's where the rest of the money will be going.
And are you getting lots of support from the local community?
There are people coming around giving money. People are supporting the social events and the fundraising events that we're having. And yes, we've written to one or two local charities, and again, they've given us substantial donations, recognising that St Paul's is one of Ramsey's landmarks, and we wanted to be still here in another 190 years' time.
This is it, you see, because if this work doesn't happen, then we'll lose this building, won't we?
It's not an immediate danger, so people shouldn't feel worried about coming into St Paul's, but yes, in the fullness of time, it will get much more serious and eventually become dangerous. So we need to spend the money on doing it now, because if we leave it, it becomes even more expensive the more the deterioration goes on.
So if people want to help, what can they do?
They can send cheques and donations, if they made cheques payable to St Paul's Tower Fund, and they send them to the church wardens, care of St Paul's, and that'll be lovely.